position. Any Power at the last flies down. Any Power has gone but in front of the last length. Melody Light
Try the far side. They're running up towards the finish, and he's mistaken the winning post. He's mistaken the winning post completely. Roger Lockwood and Hoyt Fly out
from Archibald. Hardy Eustace defends his title from Archibald, who's flattened out in second. Then in first, now right is beginning to come. He's drifting off the true line. He hangs fire. Now this must be home. Shergar's going to win his fourth Betfair Chase, and Cordo Star is still the king. Cordo Star wins.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tailed Off, episode number 29. We're back from a little break. You know, even the top podcasters got to have a little break here and then. As a reminder, this is No Holds Barred podcast that dives headfirst into a wonderfully weird world of horse racing. As you can see, it's just me and Duncan today. How you doing, Duncan? You all right?
All good, mate. How's things?
All good. Yeah, looking forward to getting back onto the pod. It's
been
a few weeks, but yeah, hungry for more.
Hungry for it, mate. Bring it on.
And obviously, we're representing Elliott today as well. Obviously, he's recovering at home, so
he's not well, bless him.
Should be back in a couple of weeks. So,
fingers crossed.
Nonetheless, we'll cover a few things. We got Callout update. So, just an update on El's horse. For those who don't know, he's got a horse called Callout who raced last week at Brighton. We'll then cover the Anorak corner. The Anorak isn't here, so it's probably just going to be the news from Duncan.
Yeah, don't tarnish me with that brush.
Yeah, we do Stewart's inquiry, and then our focus this week is Duncan's attendance at the premiere of Champions Full Gallop Season 2 that was out last week. Duncan's been, shall we say, rubbing shoulders with the stars.
I have. I mean, very loosely rubbing shoulders with stars. It was lovely.
And we've got something really good that's come out of it as well, haven't we, which we'll...
We have.
Drop a few hints over the next few weeks. So let's get going. Let's start with Callout. So for those who don't know, El's got a horse called Callout that we've been following over the last few months now. Had 2 wins, 1 win. One win, couple of podiums.
Yeah, win at Brighton. Second or third start for Jack Morland and the team.
Yeah, loves Brighton. So he raced at Brighton last week, and El's put on his notes, finish in true pod style, and was tailed off.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen it, started okay, was mid-pack for most of the race, looked to be doing quite well, and then I think 1.5 furlongs when the race was starting to go, there was just sort of nothing there, was there, really, in the tank?
Yeah, he just kind of
so it's a bit
out, really.
Yeah, I think it's a bit frustrating, I can imagine, for El and the team, and Jack Morland as well. It's a shame because I think, you know, they still thought they had a racer there, but it sounds like he's going to the sales this week.
Yeah,
and we'll probably get his new digs. Yeah, hopefully sells and then pass.
Otherwise, you got a
to
horse.
Someone else.
Yeah, exactly. Pass the parcel. No one wants the horse.
Yeah, but you know that's horse racing, though, isn't it? That's what we love about it and hate about it, and it's up and down. So
it's so unpredictable. And like say we've been part owners of Racehorse one the first time out, and we're like, oh, we've got a superstar on our hands.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I was going to say the easy game. We've completed it now. What else do we need to do? And it just is not that easy.
Yeah.
As much fun as it is, there's highs and there's certainly lows to it, but great fun nonetheless.
Yeah, great fun nonetheless, and I'm sure El will be getting his hands on another horse pretty soon. I know Pete Sullivan has already been. He's been talking up a horse, hasn't he? That he's interested.
He has. I think there's one again with Jack potentially, and there's been touts of Royal Ascot and such is the whispers. But I mean,
2 words: Royal Ascot.
Yeah, exactly that. Winners enclosure at Royal Ascot, and that's been it. But I mean, who knows? I mean, once El's better, hopefully get him on and he can kind of give us an update, or get Pete on to see if he can give us an update on what the deal is.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good to see what the next step is.
For sure.
Right, yeah, so that's Callout. Talking about Ascot, let's get on to the news, shall we? So there's been some price upsets at Champions Day at Ascot. What's been going on there? Yeah,
so I mean, it's pretty much now the kind of, it's not the official, it's almost like the official end of the flat season. We have what's called a Champions Day at Ascot, so it's the last big hurrah where they have multiple grade ones on the day, just over one day. It's about like a Royal Ascot but smaller, if you like, and it just kind of sets the scene for, it just kind of puts the sunset, I guess, to the flat season.
Finishes off the flat season.
Yeah, exactly that. And over the course of the seasons and things like that, we've seen over the last few years, there's been some pretty big price winners and some upsets across the course of Champions Day at Ascot. And I think you can post. We've got a photo here
Yeah, we'll
of
post that.
previously like the largest upsets that we've seen across the cards. And I think the most of the largest two that we've got are 40-1 prices. So we had Ann Matt, who won the Champion Stakes in 2024, so last year, for Jim Crowley. And then we had Art Power, who won in 2023, won the Sprint Cup. Or the Sprint, sorry. I don't know if it was called the Sprint Cup. It might be the Sprint Stakes. So before someone jumps on my back for that.
Where's
Um,
El when you need him?
I know. Well, he'd be cracking the whip. He'd be turning
Yeah.
over at this point, slapping me if he could. But yeah, that was won by I think it was David Allen and Tim Easterby. And they were both priced at 40-1. So they were the biggest prices that we've seen across the course of that. Now you have some of the biggest and most highly rated horses running at Champions Day, and two of the races that were on across the course of the day. Again, it was Champion Stakes, funny enough, and the Sprint that this kind of occurred in. We had two massive upsets in the Group One Queen Elizabeth II Stakes, where we had Powerful Glory, who won the Sprint. They went off an SP of 200-1 for
Jeez.
Richard Fahey. So Lazat, who was the favourite, I think he was. I mean, when I looked at the beginning of the day, early in the morning on Saturday, I think he was about 3-1 best priced, and he was just getting backed and backed and backed all the way through the day up until the race. Losing was out of the question. And then along comes this Powerful Glory for Richard Fahey at 200-1 with Jamie Spencer on board, and collars him, won by a neck at 200-1.
That's mad, isn't it? 200-1.
Yeah, it's crazy when you think about it. But the only thing I can think of is when you see some of these upsets is a lot of the horses that are in these races. They are like most of them are Group Ones. They've already kind of been targeted at other races
Yeah.
throughout the calendar year. This is kind of something that I guess they probably expect to a degree to win, but you certainly don't expect to be beaten by a 200-1 shot. That's what's happened here in the QE2.
Absolutely
Sorry,
mad.
that's what's happened. Sorry, in the sprint race. And then, if that wasn't enough for you, two races later in the QE2, Charlie Hills pops up with Cicero's Gift with a 100-1 winner, beating the favourite Field of Gold, who finished back in fifth.
It sort of reminds me of the shivers that sometimes Ascot provides me with when we
And
go
me,
to Ascot. It's like a bloody graveyard sometimes.
I'm
You can
in
see why
exactly
when
the
you
same
got 200 to
situation
1
as
and 100 to 1 winning. But do you
That's the
think maybe
thing.
it's like end of the season, like you say, they've targeted some of the bigger races maybe across the year, fatigue, it's probably the last, like you say, last flat of the season, just throw something at it. That's why some of these big horses haven't been winning.
Exactly that. I mean, there were some. I think there were still three potential favourites that won across the course of the day. But I guess, I mean, Field of Gold was one that blew up at Goodwood, so Glorious Goodwood, when he was beaten there. Funnily enough, it seems to be a thing that happens with Field of Gold at the moment. So he was beaten by his stablemate Karat at Goodwood, Glorious Goodwood, and Karat's price was 150-1. He's now been beaten by Cicero's Gift, which is 100-1, and he kind of seems to
You
have
must
just
be thinking, what do I need to do to win a
yeah,
race?
what's going on here? I'm being absolutely someone's conning him here. I mean, it's just unbelievable, really, when you look back at
It's
that. But I
unbelievable.
mean, I don't think. Well, I saw that on Bet365 they posted or they tweeted on X the other day that two people had backed the each way double on Powerful Glory and Cicero's Gift. I don't know how much they had on it. I mean,
But what was the odds for that?
the odds of that was 32,500-1, I think it was.
That's like
So
worth a
I
quid,
mean,
isn't it?
if you've got a quid on that, fair play. It's just ridiculous, isn't it? Like, who puts that in a double? Who does it? But I suppose that is
There's
why
something
if
going
you're
on
going to try
there.
it, why
That
not?
is Stuart's inquiry right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely one out there. But I mean, even backing one of them at a pound each way, you'd be happy. But I mean, putting them both in a double and then doing that, unbelievable.
Play.
So yeah, some pretty big upsets, and then we've got another little picture we can post up, and
Yeah.
it's actually looking at the longest price British Group One winners. So this isn't just looking at Champions Day. This is looking at across the whole of the flat calendar in
Right. Okay.
Britain for the largest winners. So Powerful Glory now tops that at 200-1. We've just mentioned Karat, who won the Sussex Stakes this year at 150-1, and then Cicero's Gift is in there 100-1. Out of these nine races with the longest with the longest price Group One winners, four of them have come this year from the nine. So it's it's quite interesting the fact that it's something.
It's not
What's
pretty
happening
reading
there?
as a
I know.
as a
I mean,
pundit,
well,
not as
I
a
don't know. It
pundit, as
depends how you
a
look at it, really. Depends how you look at it, really. I mean, fair play to someone being able to get a horse ready. Is it the fact that the bookies have just priced the horse wrong, or is
yeah,
someone
true.
on a bit of a sneak and gone, opportunity, and not getting
Well, it's
here?
what we talk about sometimes with like about like value, like good value, trying to
Yeah,
find the value, and you could
yeah.
argue that you've done that if you're backing those horses.
Well, that's
But
the
yeah, I
thing,
mean the
exactly.
top three there, so 1975. That's mad, isn't it? That was
Yeah, Flying Childers Stakes. Yeah, it is crazy when you look at it like that. But I mean, yeah, you just want to be on one of them. Would be lovely.
yeah, I know
So
that's a game
just
changer,
just
isn't it?
let us know, please.
You retire after that.
I know you'd be happy with that 32,500 to one. I'll take that. Thank you very much. But yeah, it's quite interesting reading.
Well, what a way to finish off the flat season.
I know they'll still have obviously the all-weather season, which will carry on through
Yeah.
until all the way through. But yeah, for the main the kind of the turf season is now pretty much done and dusted.
Yeah, and I guess that brings us on to what we'll be covering over the next few months. We're going to do the slow run up to Cheltenham, aren't we, over the next few months, and focus on. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to pick, some of the big race meets over the next few months that mean a lot for the Cheltenham run up, basically, where we might have some of the big favourites targeting certain races in the run up. So we'll stay tuned, I guess, across the next few months because it's all about the Cheltenham build up, and we'll be there
Can't
again.
wait.
So looking forward to it.
That's the thing, and I think this is one thing that El's obviously very much targeted throughout, having been following this kind of stuff for years and years and years, and I'm slowly starting to pay more attention to is horses that are kind of being targeted at races, potentially at Cheltenham. What is there? What races should we be watching out for in the build up towards Cheltenham? And what are the kind of the key races that aim at specific races at Cheltenham? So to kind of get clues and see what's happening there. So
Well,
yeah,
it's
we'll
what
be
people
looking
don't
at that.
see when they're there for the week or a couple of days or a day. They don't see all of that, do they? In the run up. So I
Exactly
think it's
that.
important to try and show. At the end of the day, like could mean nothing. You could still not pick a winner as you just seen from
It's easily
from
done.
uh, from the flats, but it's nice to sort of follow the thread. I think.
Yeah, exactly that. So yeah, we've got a calendar which we'll probably be going over in the next kind of couple of weeks to kind of show what our focus points will be for the next kind of like 6 months across the jump season, and yeah, then we'll be focusing in on the big race meets.
Looking forward to it.
Cannot
All
wait.
right, let's get on to Stuart's inquiry, shall we? Before we get on to your showbiz night.
So what happens at the photo finish?
They just
Stewart's inquiry.
What's going on with William Haggis?
Yeah, so I mean, he's come out with some. He was on Nick Luck on Sundays, so on his program on Sky, and he had some very strong opinions about Oisin Murphy. So the champion jockey was crowned at Champions Day at Ascot, which was Oisin Murphy, and he was talking about. There was a particular piece he was talking about Oisin's riding and how he's kind of ridden, and he had some very strong opinions. And he was quoted as saying he gets away with blue murder on the racecourse. And he's referring to what he described in his own words as a professional foul that jockeys do. And what he meant by that is when the jockey purposely kind of leans on the horse in a certain way, so it kind of moves the horse off as kind of a true line and into the path of an oncoming horse. So the best way of describing it, and then what they'll do is once they're kind of leaned in, they'll pull their whip through to the other hand to make it look like they're trying to do everything possible to straighten the horse back out, move him out of the way of the other horse. But by that point, they could have stopped the horse in its tracks. So the best way I could describe it is if you're trying to driving down a motorway, you've got two cars, you've got a car coming down the fast lane, someone pulls out in front of you, you've got to slam on your brakes. And that's the kind of what they're.
Yeah, you're the one that's
professional foul.
impeded as opposed to
Exactly
Professional
that. And
foul
this
is
is
probably
what.
the right way of
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to make it look like you didn't mean to do something, but you really kind of did. And the idea is to kind of stop another horse from winning a race. And Haggis was referring to a specific incident, or he recalled a specific incident at Sandown, which was a couple of months ago, where Oisin Murphy was riding a horse called Corinth, and he won the race initially. And when you watch the actual replay from the side-on view that they normally have, you can't really see very much that's going on. But there was clear interference between the horse that finished at that point second, Las Vegas, and Oisin's horse Corinth. And after the race, they then show the head on of this, and we'll post the video from William Haggis, kind of his piece of the report first off, so you can kind of see what he's talking about.
Horses win by a length, and they say, well, it's won too easily, and the jockeys know, and they do it a lot. And the incident with Corinth and at Sandown, I thought he deliberately, personally, and I'm going to get into tricky water here, but I thought he deliberately made sure that Harry Davis didn't win that race, and it got taken off him. But to say that was accidental is complete and utter madness, I think.
And then we've also got a bit of a clip from this race, so you can see exactly what William's referring to in there.
Here is the head on, and in the blue colours, the Godolphin colours, is Henry Lawson, just showing a little bit of greenness. Corinth has drifted left off the rail, and Harry Davis thinks, well, it would be rude not to, wouldn't it, with that much room up your inside?
We joked the fact that what we could talk around for a four-runner novice race, but there's plenty to unpick late on in this. The gap is definitely there for Harry Davis to go there. He's perfectly entitled. And Oisin Murphy, in fairness, pulls out. Does he leave enough room?
Good
Small
brief.
bump late on as well.
Wow.
Oh, that's more than a bump.
Wow, that is messy.
But I don't know if you've seen it yet, Matt, but from the head on,
it's mad.
you can see he's literally just like bumper cars. He leans in, comes back out again, and then if that's not enough, because I think Las Vegas is clearly going to go past him, he then just goes at him again, and it's not once, not twice, but probably 3 times. It's surprised he doesn't go through the barrier. And I completely understand what Haggis is saying, because although Oisin Murphy's horse was disqualified for it, I don't think Oisin Murphy got a ban or anything for that riding.
Really? Nothing at all?
I don't think so, no. I think it was classified, it was borderline, as Haggis has said, was dangerous riding, but it was put down as an accident. I don't think he was given any form of kind of ban as a result of it. But as Haggis was saying, if the jockey on Las Vegas, which was Harry Davis, if he'd come off and been seriously injured, or the horse had been injured or something, that's the only time they would have taken it seriously. And what he's saying is this kind of stuff needs to be stamped out, especially from the champion jockey, who he feels is guilty of doing this kind of thing like fairly regularly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it'd be interesting to know if from viewers of this, like, what do they think? Post something in the comments, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah.
Do you think it was dangerous? So I was having a look at the comments that was on Racing TV when it was posted, and it's they were pretty savage. Well, not savage comments; they're pretty fair comments. The fact that there does need to be something done about this, and the stewards do need to really take note of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's mad that they didn't get any. There was no sort of foul play identified, really, because all that's showing is that it's a bit like the old VAR debate in in football. You know, you got to have some consistency, don't you, for these sorts of things. So
exactly.
Does that mean that other jockeys are going to try and do that? You know, they're going to start taking the piss a little bit. You know,
that's the thing. I think
because we've seen it so many times. Like I think this is probably the 5th or 6th video in the last 3 or 4 months that we've seen a jockey losing control of the horse and then impacting, competitors either side or on purpose. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think and this is what Haggis is saying, it's not an isolated incident of like Oisin Murphy doing it, but I think what his point is the fact that him being the champion jockey, he should be the standard setter for everyone, but he feels that he gets away with it fairly regularly, and it's a regular thing for him to try and do in order to get his horse to win. I mean, he was obviously being fairly careful about what he was saying, but I mean, he was pretty
not that careful.
He said what he felt at the end of the day. So, but yeah, I mean, I totally agree with you. I think they definitely need to look more at this far more strongly, because this stuff shouldn't happen. I mean, you do that in France, you do that in the States. Your horses
are they hot on it? Are they?
They are very hot on it. Like you
really
blow on the other horse, and you're going to get done for it. So I think there definitely needs to be more of a crackdown on this from a British horse racing standpoint.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting. And then I love your video that you've posted there. We'll play the video now. Yeah. The old Zorro, Mask of Zorro, brings back some memories.
Yeah, so I only spotted this incident yesterday and I couldn't help myself. As soon as I saw it, I thought this has got Mask of Zorro written all over it. For anyone who hasn't seen Mask of Zorro, you can see this clip and you'll understand
Yes,
there's a
watch
bit of
that
a
clip.
likeness to it.
Yeah.
So it happened in France. It was a jumps meet in France. I'm probably going to butcher the French spelling or French saying of it, but I think it's Campagne. Where a jockey was going over one of the fences and he basically was bounced out of the saddle. Looked like he was being thrown from the horse. Thankfully, he had a competitor next to him. He managed to use that horse to balance, hold on one arm on that horse, holding on to his horse, so he was kind of dangling in between the pair. And then he managed to hoik himself back on his own horse and carry on riding.
And a turn, Callie de Boulard. Oh, an unseating rider there, Esprit Tranquille, but he's managed to get back on board, and I think he might have been pushed back on by one of the other jockeys.
So it was.
If you don't learn anything today, then you learn about Mask of Zorro.
Exactly. He could be a stuntman, I think. Have a look and see the comparison. I think it's an uncanny likeness. So we think we found Antonio Banderas' stunt double, to say the very least.
Love it. Love it. Well, thanks for those. Yeah, it's fascinating, actually. I think we'll maybe have to have a regular snippet on this. Let's see if we get any comments or interest on it, because we can monitor
crazy scenes,
the fallout of it. Yeah.
I would like, if I can find any more kind of crazy videos like that, they will be on here, because it's pretty enjoyable seeing that.
Right, let's get on to the main event, shall we? So, for those who don't know, and you haven't seen on our socials, Duncan was lucky enough to get a ticket to the premiere of Series 2 of Champions Full Gallop, which is on ITV. I think it aired last Friday, didn't it? And it's on every Friday for six series,
6 weeks. Yeah, I think there's 6
sorry?
weeks.
Yeah.
6 episodes. For anyone who hasn't seen the first series, highly recommend watching it. It's fantastic. I think it's really geared towards anyone and everyone. So if you're like a bit more like you, Matt, who isn't necessarily fully in the know or fully understand everything. I know you've obviously been part owner of a horse, which is a great help, but it really kind of takes you behind the scenes of everything. Like, just talks to the jockeys, the trainers, some of the owners, people from ITV. It just gives you a proper deep dive into it and kind of some of the backstories that you just wouldn't be aware of any other way.
Yeah, really good.
So they've released the second series now, first episode, and I was very lucky to be taken as a guest, as a +1 to the premiere of season 2. So big shout out.
Just remind me how. Yeah, sorry, go on. You're probably going to say how you got how you sort of your link.
Yeah. So friend from the gym. So big shout out to Nikki Pettit Ward, who works. She has her own PR business, and she was doing some work with Great British horse racing on this stuff with some of the jockeys, and she was lucky enough to have. She got a ticket for herself and a +1. Her husband, thankfully for me, couldn't go unless he was working.
Stepped in like a true gentleman.
I was going to say, I was like, fear not, knight in shining armour is here. I'm straight on board with this. So
my only feedback is, Nikki, next time get at least 2 tickets.
Yeah,
we got to be.
I think El piped up straight away and said, "Any chance of a third ticket?"
He was there. He was fastest finger first for sure.
Yeah, exactly that. He had a bit all over it. So she was lucky. I was very lucky to be invited to it by her. And we've got some photos and stuff from it which we can post.
Yeah, so you met Dan Skelton. Who else you got there?
We've got Paul Nicholls there.
Paul Nicholls.
Dan Skelton. So Ed Chamberlain, which is nice. Paddy. We've got Paddy Mullins, the Grand National winning jockey from this year, and Chris Hughes as well. So he also does some of the stuff with ITV. And then if you haven't watched Love Island, he was also on Love Island some years ago. But he's a top guy, really really nice guy. So it was just mental, absolutely mental. Like when you're kind of walking around,
so cool,
and just seeing all these people that you've obviously been watching on TV, you kind of walk past potentially because as you know, going to race courses.
I do. I've done many red carpet events. Times. So.
Suave man, aren't you? Suave man. I didn't even realise that BAFTA had their own kind of headquarters either.
Oh, really? So where was it then?
So it's not far from, I wanted to say Leicester Square, but it's not. Why you put me on the spot with this?
Sorry. Where did you go? Can you remember where you went?
I'm trying to remember where I went now. Yeah, no, just BAFTA HQ. It's all I can think of. BAFTA. I'm actually going to have to look it up now.
BAFTA HQ. That's all you need to know.
Piccadilly. That's where it was.
Piccadilly, okay, nice.
So we'll cut all the fact that I didn't know where it was out.
No, we'll leave that in.
Yeah, I was going to say 100%, 100%. But yeah, no, it was Piccadilly. Yeah, lovely, lovely little venue.
Amazing.
And yeah, it was. It was just so nice to kind of like you see all these people. Obviously, Conagry. Weirdly, they had Conagry there, so there were supposed to be two horses there, but they had Conagry. So the 2015 Cheltenham Gold Cup winner, who
Wow.
Elle I know will have loved to have met, because
Yes.
he backed the horse when he won the Gold Cup 15. So yeah, no, I mean everyone I met there, all of these people that you kind of see and have a lot of admiration and respect for,
Yeah.
and they're not necessarily like all heroes. They
Yeah,
say
but
never meet
still,
your
like,
heroes. They literally are like the
yeah,
nicest people. Every
yeah,
single one of them, got a photo with them, had a chat with Dan Skelton,
it's
had
amazing.
a bit of a joke with him about obviously last season, when he kind of was pipped to the post of the championship, the
Yeah, of
trainers
course.
championship by Willie Mullins.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
had a little bit of a joke with him about that.
bit of needle.
Yeah, yeah, just stick it right in the side just after the photo. I was just like, oh yeah, good luck for this year. But no, he
Good
was a
luck, mate.
lovely guy.
No chance.
Paul Nicholls was also absolutely top draw guy, and Ed Chamberlain as well was absolutely
Shout
must.
out Ed Chamberlain. Might be
Yeah,
seeing
big
him
shout out
again
to Ed Chamberlain.
sometime soon.
Yeah, it's going to say yeah, we'll do our best to see if we can sort out something with Ed. But yeah, I mean it was great. We kind of did like it was a bit of a wait around, get everyone into the building, and then we were taken up to watch one of the episodes. It was episode 5 we watched, which was around the Grand National. So I won't give
Nice.
anything away. But we had it was literally in like a cinema room.
Yeah.
Had your popcorn, had water, all this kind of stuff.
Nice.
Watched the whole episode of it, and then they did a panel afterwards with Joel Dommett was sorry, Joe Dommett. I always call him Joel Dommett for some reason. He was hosting the panel with Ed Chamberlain, Alice Plunkett, Paddy Mullins, and Stuart Andrew. So if
Nice.
you don't know who Stuart Andrew is, he's the owner of Nick Rocket, and Nick Rocket is the horse that won the Grand National, trained by Willie Mullins and ridden by Paddy Mullins, who's Willie's son. So there was a lovely little bit of a backstory that's into the episode, but it was fantastic. And honestly, if you haven't when it comes around, just watch them. They are
Yeah,
so
I mean,
good.
yeah. So I've seen series 1. Really interesting. It's
Yeah.
actually one of the better series, I think. So I've seen the one on Amazon. What's the one on Amazon called?
The flat season.
Yeah,
Flat
flat
racing
one. I can't remember. What it's
It's following
called now,
Andrew
but
Balding.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, but like, yeah, they do it really well, don't they? And ITV Racing, obviously, I guess, partly involved.
Yes.
So yeah, no, really good, really good. Really recommend it. We're not sponsored by them, but if you know.
Yeah, no, I mean they've done it. The annoying thing is because there was talk, and we probably post some of the clips on socials. I was taking some videos of on the panel.
Yeah.
They're saying because of the whole betting levy and things like that, they haven't managed to get sponsorship for another season of
Oh,
it.
really?
I think it's absolute criminal. So this will, I think, could be potentially be the last season of it, which is
Do you know what
absolutely
you
epic.
hear more and more of that? Yeah, it's the wrong it's the wrong money. It's the you sort of backing that you get for these big sort of Netflix shows and stuff. It's different sort of money, isn't it?
I know,
So
and
it's a
it's
shame.
gutting because you listen to these guys on the panel, and especially like Ed. Ed is such he wants all of the kind of like the youngsters and bringing in,
Yeah.
encouraging new people into racing, new blood, like the younger generation
Sort of a
into it.
die-hard racer, and cares about the sport, a bit like we do.
100%.
Like we try and call out the shit parts and try and explain a little bit more about how it works and complexities behind it. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
and I think Ed does such a good job of doing that. And Alice Plunkett as well, to be fair, like she was awesome on the panel, as was Paddy Mullins and Stuart Andrew, giving his own perspective of being, a Grand National winning owner.
Yeah.
And just the stories that they have and that they were talking about are just so heartfelt, and that's the kind of stuff that makes you fall in love with horse racing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
it's lovely to back a winner or two when you go to them, but when you actually and they tell it so well throughout the episodes, like in series 1, the first episode of series 2, which is already out. They do such a good job of telling the stories in there, and I won't give too much away of it, but there's a piece they've done on Freddie Gingell, who's one of the jockeys. He's like the number 2 jockey for Paul Nicholls.
Right.
And they do a really nice piece with him, and kind of a bit of his backstory. And it is like it's heart in your mouth kind of stuff, like really like lump in the throat. It's very, very impressive how they've done this and got all the kind of cover that they have done, the coverage from all the jockeys and trainers and things. So yeah, if you haven't watched it yet, go and watch it, because hopefully it will get more people interested in horse racing.
Yeah.
Which is what we want at the end.
Agreed. Exactly, that's what we want, and that's what we're trying to do as well. So thanks, Duncan. Thanks for taking us through that. It's nice to see the pictures, and obviously there was a bit on social media. Maybe we'll put some of the pics up on social media as well, and just to show what a good time you had out there. So like I say, go and watch the series. Started last week. You can catch up on ITV Player, and the next one is this week, so Friday the 24th. And let us know what you think. It'd be good to hear what you guys think of it. So that's a wrap, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, just to let people know as well, for this Saturday, so we've got Cheltenham. The first meet of the jump season is.
Got a cheeky little tip. What you got?
I haven't actually. I'm waiting for. I mean, declarations will be tomorrow. So I imagine between Elle and myself, and we'd actually like to try and get a newbie snap. So I reckon what we should do.
Oh yeah.
Whilst we're kind of like, I haven't even considered asking you about this, but let's pick. I think we should pick a race.
Yeah, we'll pick
and
one.
We should. Let's think. What would be a good race to do?
What should we do?
I was going to say no. We don't want the Potemps. The Potemps will be an absolute shit show of horses. I'm thinking. Well, there's a chase, a 3 mile 1 chase, Class 2, 52k to the winner. I reckon we go for that, which is the
all right
220.
All right. So watch out for the socials then for the 220.
We'll probably. I imagine Elle will probably go through the card. I'll probably have a look at some, but that is going to be the one for, especially for the newbies nap.
Yep. Nice.
So we should try and get a little bit of.
I haven't had a winner yet as a newbie, so I've had a few good results.
It's going to happen. Looking forward to the first winner.
Good, awesome. All right, thanks, mate. Good to catch up. Good to get another episode out, and thank you all for tuning in, whether it's YouTube, Apple, or Spotify. Please let us know what you're thinking about this podcast, what you're liking, what you'd like to see next time. It'd be good to have your feedback, because we try and tailor these. Please drop us your questions via social media or via email. They're on Instagram, TikTok, and X, and we've also got our Gmail, which is tailedoffpod@gmail.com. Please please share, and until next time, have fun out there, race hard, race smart, and try not to be tailed off. Cheers, guys.
Cheers, Matt.
Cheers.
Position. Any power at the last flies down. Any power has gone, but in front of the last length, Melody Light.
By the far side, they're running up towards the finish, and he's mistaken the winning post. He's mistaken the winning post completely, Roger Loughlin, and Hoyt.
From Archibald,